The Chicago White Sox playing host to the Minnesota Twins on Tuesday night. In the top of the first, a great double play turned by Chicago. Craig Graybeck with the great diving snag on Chili Davis's hard ground ball up the middle. Makes the flip to Ozzie Guillen, who makes the nice pivot and the throw to first base to complete the double play. A great double play turned by the White Sox. In the top of the second, things don't go as well, however. Frank Thomas drops this easy Brian Harper pop-up. It's just fair. Harper's on first, and then with Harper on third and one out, Pedro Munoz singles to right field off Wilson Alvarez. Harper scores, giving the Twins a 1-0 lead for Munoz, his 24th RBI of the year. In the bottom of the third now with two outs, Carlton Fisk picks up the 2,300th hit of his career. A double to the corner in right field off David West for Minnesota. Frank Thomas scores, giving Fisk his 67th RBI, and the game is tied at 1 apiece. Bottom of the fourth now, runners on first and third. Brian Harper with the throw to second base to get Lance Johnson, who's attempting to steal second. And Sammy Sosa will be thrown out at home plate, attempting the double steal there. So with Johnson on second and one out in the fourth, Ron Karkovice singles to right center field. Lance Johnson scores, and that gives Chicago a 2-1 lead. In the top of the seventh now with one out, Gene Larkin will single to center field off Melito Perez now for the Chicago White Sox. Shane Mack crosses the plate, and that'll tie the game at 2 apiece. Top of the eighth with one out, Kirby Puckett gives the Twins the 3-2 lead with a solo home run to center field. His 15th home run of the year, 3-2 Twins. That would be the final score. Rick Aguilera came on in the bottom of the ninth. He gets Ozzie Guillen to fly out to end the ballgame as the Twins take it 3-2. The winning pitcher is Mark Guthrie. He's 7-5. Perez falls to 8-7. Aguilera with his 41st save of the year. The Twins over the Chicago White Sox by the score of 3-2.
Tuesday night in Kansas City, Royals playing host to the Oakland A's as Danny Tarnable and Jose Canseco chat. And in the top of the fourth inning, it was all business as Canseco hits his league-leading 44th home run, RBI number 121. This one goes deep over the left field fence as the A's take a 1-0 lead in the fourth inning. The A's would make that lead 2-0 in the top of the fourth inning. Jamie Quirk up against Mark Gubicza, and he'll send this pitch into left field for a base hit. Terry Steinbach, not the fastest runner, comes around. He'll be able to beat the throw, and it's 2-0, RBI number 17 for Jamie Quirk. In the top of the fifth inning, Ricky Henderson would add one more run for the Oakland A's. This one a double that rolls to the wall in right center field. This allows Bordick to score, and the A's jump out to a 3-0 lead. We're in the sixth inning in Kansas City. In the sixth inning, it's Mark McGwire's turn as he'll hit his 22nd home run of the season. This one a solo shot to the left field seats off of Flash Gordon. His 22nd home run of the season, RBI number 75, and the A's take a 4-0 lead. Oakland A's starter Mike Moore was sharp once again as he would go 7 1/3 innings, striking out 7. Here he strikes out Brent Maine in the bottom of the seventh for his 7th strikeout. And the A's would go on to win this one as Dennis Eckersley would come in and pick up his 43rd save. A's win 4-0 once again. Mike Moore 17-8. Mark Gubicza drops to 9-12, and Dennis Eckersley with his 43rd save. As the A's win 4-0 in Kansas City.
Texas, the Rangers taking on the Seattle Mariners. Oil Can Boyd unable to get loose tonight, and he only lasted 2 1/3 innings. To the game action now. Bottom of the first inning, Juan Gonzalez gets his 100th RBI of the season. This to center field, scoring Rafael Palmeiro, and the Rangers were up 1-0. But in the top of the second inning, it's Jay Buhner with a monstrous 2-run homer to center field. For Buhner, his 26th of the season, scoring Alvin Davis ahead of him. The Mariners led it 2-1. In the top of the third inning, it's Pete O'Brien with a single to center field. Edgar Martinez will come around to score, and Seattle was up 3-1. Still in the top of the third inning, 2 out, bases loaded, and Greg Briley comes through with this triple down the right field line and into the corner. Jay Buhner scores, Alvin Davis scores, Pete O'Brien scores. This makes the score 6-1 Seattle. The very next batter, Omar Vizquel with a line drive off of Dean Palmer's glove. This goes as a base hit. Greg Riley scores 7-1 Seattle. It stayed that way until the top of the seventh inning when Alvin Davis will rip this double to right center field. Ken Griffey Jr. on first base will come around to score. This made the score 8-1 Mariners. On the mound for Seattle tonight, rookie Dave Burba. He pitches a brilliant ball game going 6 innings, giving up only 1 run. Here is striking out Jose Hernandez in the 5th inning. Closing it out for Seattle was Calvin Jones. He pitched the last 3 innings to earn his 2nd Major League save. He'll get Dean Palmer to fly to center field to end the ball game. The Seattle Mariners defeat the Texas Rangers 8-1. The winner Berber is 2-2. The loser Oil Can Boy 2-7. Jones' 2nd save. The Mariners are now 2 games over 500.
Cleveland and the Pittsburgh Pirates playing host to the New York Mets in the top of the 3rd with 2 outs. Howard Johnson drives in his league-leading 115th RBI. He doubles down the left field line. This comes off of Zane Smith. Keith Miller scores from second base, and it's 1-0 New York. Still in the top of the 3rd, Johnson becomes the 2nd player to make the 30-30 club 3 times as he steals third base uncontested. Johnson has 38 home runs on the season. And to take a look at the official score, the stolen base was at first taken away from Howard Johnson, and then it was given back to him, so he makes the 30-30 club for the 3rd time in his career. With the game tied at 1 now, John Smiley came on in relief of Zane Smith in the top of the 4th, making his first relief appearance. He strikes out Todd Hundley. He improved to 19-8 with a win. He allowed 2 hits and struck out 2. He raised his record against the Mets to 3-0 this season and 10-3 lifetime. David Cohn struck out 4 to raise his league-leading total to 222. There he strikes out Steve Buechele in the bottom of the 4th. He would take the loss and fell to 13-14. Bottom of the 5th, 2 outs. Gary Varsho with the ground ball single to right field. Jose Lean scores, making it 2-1 Pittsburgh. Top of the 8th now. Runners on 2nd and 3rd for New York. Kevin McReynolds with the ground ball. Curtis Wilkerson cuts off Jose Lean. He makes the throw to first base. And Bobby Bonilla fires home, and Mike LaValliere tags out Keith Miller, ending that threat by the New York Mets, and it's 2-1 Pittsburgh. Top of the 9th, man on first, Stan Belinda gets Todd Hundley to pop up to end the game as the Pirates take it 2-1. Smiley improves to 19-8. Belinda with his 15th save. Pirates gain their 96th win, their best total since the 1979 team won 98 en route to the World Championship.
At St. Louis, it's Joe Torre and the Cardinals taking on the Montreal Expos. In the bottom of the 1st inning with no score, it's Todd Zeile with this long drive over Marquise Grissom's head. It bounces into the center field bleachers. Ozzie Smith and Felix Jose come in to score, and the Cardinals led it 2-0. For Zeile, RBI is 80 and 81. In the top of the 2nd inning, it's Andres Galarraga with this RBI single to right field. Larry Walker scores. The throw goes to third base where Marquise Grissom is gunned out by Felix Jose. A very awkward slide for Marquise Grissom. As you see, he goes into the bag very hard with his knee and ankle. He came out of the game with a sprained right ankle, and he will be lost for the rest of the season. With the score 2-1, we go to the bottom of the 3rd inning. Pedro Guerrero with the RBI singled through the hole. Coming in to score would be Ray Langford. This made the score 3-1 Cardinals. In the top of the 5th inning with the score still 3-1, Geronimo Pena with a great play here, getting Johnny Vanderwall at first base, and the Cardinals still led it 3-1. We go now to the top of the 9th inning. Lee Smith in the game for the St. Louis Cardinals. He's going for the National League save record. 2 men on, 2 men out. Ozzie Smith with a great play to get Brett Barbary at first base. That ends the ball game, and Lee Smith now holds the record for most saves in the National League in one season, 46. The St. Louis Cardinals defeat the Montreal Expos 3-1. The winner Oliveros is 11-6. The loser Barnes 5-7. Here you'll see once again the play that puts Lee Smith in the record books. The Wizard of Oz with a great play, off bounds throw gets Barbary, and Lee Smith is carried off the field by his teammates. Cardinals win 3-1.
Tuesday night in San Francisco, John Burkett and the Giants playing host to the Houston Astros in the top of the 1st. Burkett facing Jeff Bagwell, and Bagwell will bloop a single just out of Robbie Thompson's reach, and that'll bring home Steve Finley, and Houston will take a 1-0 lead. But in the bottom of the 1st with 1 out, the Giants come right back and tie it up at 1. Will Clark driving in his 112th RBI of the year. He singles to left center field off Houston starter Darryl Kyle. Willie McGee scores, and it's all tied up at 1 apiece. Still in the bottom half of the first, Matt Williams at the plate now. He connects for a 2-run home run to left field. That picks up Will Clark, and that puts the Giants out in front by the score of 3-1. Burkett now in the lead, and he settles down a bit in the top of the second. He strikes out Anuhar Cedeno of the Houston Astros. In the bottom of the fourth, Cedeno with more problems. He waves off Luis Gonzalez. Then he misses Robbie Thompson's pop-up. That put runners on first and second in the bottom of the fourth. And now with the bases loaded and nobody out in the bottom half of the fourth inning, Royce Clayton drives in his first Major League RBIs as he singles to left center field. Mark Leonard and Robbie Thompson both scoring to make it 5-1 Giants for Royce Clayton, his first RBIs in the major leagues. Score now 5-2 Giants. Top of the seventh, the Astros plugging away, and with 2 outs, Luis Gonzalez singles to right field off Francisco Olivares. Steve Finley scores, and it's 5-3 San Francisco. In the top of the eighth, Cedeno pulls the Astros within 1 run of the Giants with his 7th home run of the year. This one off the left field foul pole, comes off of Jeff Brantley, and it's 5-4 San Francisco. And Will Clark will give the Giants an insurance run in the bottom of the eighth with his 28th home run of the year, 113th RBI. He's now 2 behind Howard Johnson for the National League lead. 6-4 Giants. That's the final. Burkett is 12-11 with the win. Kyle falls to 7-11. Jeff Brantley with his 14th save of the year.
Mrs. Roger Maris on hand on the anniversary of her husband's 61st home run. In the bottom of the first inning, Yankees and Orioles. Mel Hall with a ground out 4-3, but Don Mattingly scores on the play. RBI number 78 for Hall, and the Yankees are up 1-0. In the top of the second inning, the Yankee ball boy makes a nice play on the line drive by Glenn Davis. But in the top of the fifth inning, the Orioles would tie this one up. Chris Hoyles, the same way Mel Hall did it. He grounds out 4-3, but Martinez scores on the play, and we're all tied up at 1. Then Roberto Kelly comes up in the bottom of the fifth inning and puts the Yankees up 2-1 with his 63rd RBI of the season with the runners going. This one scores Alvaro Espinosa, and it's 2-1 Yanks. In the top of the seventh inning, with the Orioles skipper looking on, Leo Gomez sends this Lee Gudeman pitch into the right field seats for his 16th home run of the season. This ties the game up at 2. We're in the 10th inning now with the Orioles and the Yankees all tied up at 2. In the bottom of the 11th inning, Mark Williamson in to pitch for the Baltimore Orioles. With Jim Leyritz on third base, John Ramos lifts a fly ball to center field. Mike Devereaux makes the catch but doesn't bother to throw it in as he knows the game's over. Leyritz scores on the play, RBI number 2 for Ramos. Yankees win 3-2 in 11 innings. Monteleone with the win, he's 3-1. Jim Poole takes the loss, he drops to 2-1.
Major League Baseball on Tuesday night, the Milwaukee Brewers are in Cleveland to take on the Indians. This is the second game of a doubleheader. In the first game, Milwaukee trounced Cleveland 11-0. Milwaukee would get off to an early start in the top of the first as Darrell Hamilton singles to left field off Dave Otto. This with 2 outs. Willie Randolph comes around to score as the ball is bobbled by Jose Gonzalez. This will be Hamilton's 50th RBI on the season. And Milwaukee leads 1-0. Cleveland would tie the score on a sac fly and make it 1-1. And in the bottom of the third, Carlos Baerga doubles to left center field off Chris George. Making his Major League debut, Mark Lewis scores. 2-1 Cleveland. In the top of the fourth, Paul Molitor, hard ground ball single to left field. Jim Gantner slides home. This is Molitor's 71st RBI on the season, and we're tied at 2. In the top of the fifth, Jim Gantner bloops a single to right field. This with 2 outs, Wayne Kirby throws out Dante Bichette at home plate. And we're still tied at 2. We move to the bottom 6. Darren Holmes, wild pitch, gets by Rick Dempsey. Reggie Jefferson scores from third base, and Cleveland takes the lead 3-2. In the bottom of the 7th, Cleveland would go up 4-2 as Rick Dempsey throws the ball back to Julio Machado, but the ball goes over his head. Alex Cole comes in to score, 4-2 Cleveland.